Speaker, thank you. The disappointment that I spoke of yesterday from numerous Alberta communities has been replaced with outrage today over provincial changes to the way the taxes are collected, the education taxes. In Chestermere, a single mother telling our mayor at the school drop-off today, "I don't know where I'm going to find $400 extra." In Wood Buffalo, administration telling me today that this tax will mean an additional $16 million in 1 year coming from their community. To the Minister of Municipal Affairs, why are you downloading responsibility for your own fiscal mismanagement to municipalities?
Mr. Speaker, it's a pleasure for me to explain the way the education property tax system works in this province. The province lays out and collects 32% of the education property tax, Mr. Speaker, from taxpayers. Property owners, Mr. Speaker. We collect that amount from the province of Alberta regardless of how you divvy it out. But 11 municipalities were heavily mitigated by 51 others, Mr. Speaker, which paid more taxes than they should have, Mr. Speaker. We sought equity so that everyone pays their fair share, and we're still going to mitigate the transition out of the mitigation formula, Mr. Speaker, but this is about a similar valued house in a similar class paying similar taxes, Mr. Speaker. Equity for Albertans.
Honourable member.
I assure you, Minister, that's not how Albertans are seeing it. Given that you campaigned on a promise not to raise taxes, and given I've heard you yourself say several times, you won't balance the books on the backs of municipalities, can you explain to Albertans, and all of us in here, including members that represent communities affected by this, how government reaching into the pockets of families is not a tax increase?
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'm happy to explain again that it was unjust for 11 municipalities to have their education property tax collection heavily subsidized by 51 other municipalities that made up the difference. Homeowners that had to make up the difference that pay more education taxes than they should have, Mr. Speaker. We still collect the same amount of taxes. The mitigation or the changes that some people see are because their values have gone up, Mr. Speaker, the values of their homes. And that's a good news story, Mr. Speaker, because Albertans' net worth is increasing because this is the best economy in the world to be in right now, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, a tax is a tax is a tax. I'm going to try something different, though I believe the Minister to be a responsible man. Will you please, Minister, revisit this issue? Or at the very least, will you meet with and consult with community leaders and find a way to slow down this giant tax increase on those municipalities and phase it in, at least give them some time with it?
Mr. Speaker, I think I've said it twice already now. We are mitigating the loss of the mitigation formula for those municipalities that are having heavy impacts so that it is a slower transition over the next few years as they get rid of it, Mr. Speaker. I'd also like to emphasize the province of Alberta has not raised the rate of education property taxes. It's all due to assessment, Mr. Speaker. In fact, in this province, year after year after year, we either hold the line on the rate of taxation or we lower it, Mr. Speaker. It's the equity that causes some places to increase, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member will do Beaumont, followed by Drumheller-Stetler.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.